This is officially the last photo in this studio. I can't even believe I'm saying this right now. So we are moving from Greensboro, the city, out to the mountains. And something that's really cool is it's actually snowing today. But before we head out, have to get this final shot for a client, and then new space, new studio, new adventures. Hi.
So with the new studio space comes new goals, and one of my biggest goals this year is to help more photographers build the studio of their dreams. There's nothing more rewarding than getting to choose which brands you work with and building a business that gives you creative, financial, and lifestyle freedom. We actually got held up by a day because of the snow. It became a bit too treacherous to drive in the mountains with the moving truck, but as soon as we got the all clear, we hit the road, had the kitties packed, and headed straight for the mountains. It was so magical seeing the mountains start to appear in the distance as we were driving on the highway. We normally take back roads and seamlessly transition into these beautiful rolling hills, but this was kind of more of a monumental moment and a really nice roller coaster of emotions. Of course, one of the first things I had to do was jump straight into the new studio space and build a new shelving system that I bought from Amazon. It took me literally 4 tries to get it right. I don't like to read instructions. I just kind of jump into it, and boy, was that a mistake. So we are on, I think, day 3 of the new studio, getting it all put together, and here's what we're working with so far. However, I got something that's going to change this whole space. This thing right here. I measured it so that this depth was long enough for all of my backdrops, my tiles, everything. So all of that is going to get organized, and I'm going to do it this way. So we might end up getting rid of this table and using this as the new tabletop. I don't know, we'll see. Exciting. But this was something else I was super excited for in this studio space. I don't need a big studio. I just need a functional studio. And I had room for more furniture in here, and I took advantage of it. So this is just a children's cubby cart. So when I'm styling, if I need acrylic blocks, all right, we just walk over, we grab the whole thing, and I can bring it to my scene. Whereas before, I had all of my stuff in bins inside of my closet. And if I wanted something, I'd have to go in here, find which bin it is, make room, pull the bin out, and you can imagine that's quite annoying. So that is what all of this is going to solve. The next thing I was excited for are these rolling carts. Super awesome. It just rolls out. I can take it anywhere with me. So I have my white blocks in here. And then this one, I have more of my creative blocks, because sometimes when I use these, I don't know what I'm using. So it'd be nice to roll all of these over so I can play with all of my options. And again, save time. So I almost forgot to mention, coolest part of the whole studio is we've got a mountain right outside. Isn't that awesome? So you feel a little stressed, just look outside and you'll smile. Got my tools, I got a blade, and I've got Ryan.
She took my blade. I have to get my blade right here.
Don't you dare. Here, I'll do this so I can make a carpet out of it. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. Now this is really exciting. I have never purchased a rack this expensive before, and it's like no build. I don't have to use screws or anything, and it's so convenient. It has a locking system, so if you're someone who is not good with a drill or doesn't have a drill, this is a great option. So she's supposed to be supervising and reading me the directions, but she's there she goes. Now she's reading them. She's distracted by the mountain view. Athena? Hey. I built it, and I'm very proud. And now I am very excited to put my backdrops on here. Something that I've struggled with ever since becoming a product photographer is finding the best solution to store my vinyl backdrops, because my collection is quite significant. And the last place, I actually had a rolling cart, like a coat hanger, and that worked for like my basic things, like the whites, the creams, what I use all the time. But then whenever someone had a special shoot where I needed red or pink or a special kind of tile, well then I had a pile of backdrops in the deep dark depths of the back of my closet. And you couldn't tell what was pink from orange from red. So it was very frustrating when it was time to find the right colored backdrop. So now, my solution is to have them all on here, as well as my acrylic backdrops and my tile backdrops. That's the goal. And then this has extra space here, so I'm actually gonna pull some bins out of the closet and put them here, because even though I have this cubby over here, there's still some things that just don't fit on this shelf, and quite frankly, they don't need to be out on display because it's not something I use every day. It'll just make my life easier when it's time to use said item. So, now time for the fun part. If you've ever been curious about the backdrop collection that we own, here is a deep dive into everything. I'll walk you through all of it. And you're gonna notice that pretty much 99.9% of all of these is club backdrops. If you've never ordered from club backdrops, you can use the link in the description and get a free backdrop on your first purchase. I love them because they wipe clean, you can customize them, and they're just pretty awesome. So this is a custom window one I made. I actually made this in Canva. I took a garden, I blurred it, and then I put a window frame over it. Pretty cool shot I took. And I actually ended up pairing it with this guy, also from club backdrops. This sky, which I've only used one time because the client wanted it. I've never used it myself for any personal projects because I have custom made clouds that I've created to use in Adobe Photoshop so I can place them where I want in my scene. And we also sell that as an editing template pack. If you wanted that, I'll have the link in the description. This one here is also one club backdrops. Here's another wood one that's really pretty. So this first one, this is a custom one that I made. This was from a groovy, super groovy collection I did. It's kind of, I don't know, I think 2-3 years in, and I actually pulled these prints, I think they were from Etsy, and then I upscaled them in Canva. Now this one is from Everyday Co. I tried a couple of their backdrops. They're pretty durable and heavy duty. I just find that, again, I don't really need crazy textures because if I'm going to do a water splash, I'm going to do a real water splash. This one, I think, came as is from Club Backdrops. This was a custom one. Oh, this one here. This was a custom one I made in Canva. These two, as is from Club Backdrops. This, I believe, was custom made in Canva. Greystone, this is Club Backdrops. This one, you can buy from Club Backdrops. This was a custom one I had printed with Club Backdrops. This one from Club Backdrops. This one you can buy from Club Backdrops. And this one was a custom tile because as you can see, this tile is like very marbly. I needed something that was a little more subtle, a little more premium, if you will, and that's where these babies came to life. Then we also have this one, which I think was nope, I think I purchased that from them as is. And then this one was a custom one, but I ended up hating it because I realized you just can't beat the way real stone looks. With that being said, am I still going to keep the backdrop even though I'm probably not going to use it? Probably, so let's just put that off to the side. This one, which I bought from a backdrop. This one I made for a razor sheet. I made this one for a razor sheet. Again, anything I make, I always use Canva. This one I bought as is from Everyday Co.
I found a secret oasis
Yeah?
on our property. You're gonna lose your mind.
Can you give me just a few minutes?
Nah.
I'm so excited.
Hurry. You're gonna lose your
Are you
mind.
serious?
I started clearing it up a little bit. We need snips for thorn bushes to expose. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so
Yeah.
excited. This one is from Everyday Co. I'm going through the backdrop collection, just the patterns. This one is also from Everyday Co. This one was custom
One with backdrops. This one was also from Everyday Co. He had to pull me out of the studio for a minute because he's clearing the backyard. It is kind of a mess, but we found waterfalls back here. And then this view is crazy. I need like a hammock and a swing and a fire pit and all the things. So here's the little creek. The driveway actually passes over it. It comes out of the other end here. And it actually goes all the way down the driveway and feeds into a river that's like on that part of the land. It's so nice. And we just put these little things out so we can see the driveway as we're coming home at night from late night adventures. Amazing. Back to the studio I go. Miss Thing is here to greet me, but she can't go outside because, I don't know, we haven't introduced her to the outdoors yet. Going from an apartment to a house, I can't even put it into words. We went from literally living in the middle of the city, like, I mean, right on downtown. Excuse me, ma'am. And now we are so off the grid. We don't even have Wi-Fi yet. We're going on like a week without Wi-Fi, but they're supposed to come tomorrow. So that'll be fun. And when I say no Wi-Fi, there's not even cell service here. So we're off the grid, like SOS. All we have is each other. Thankfully, if we drive down the road a bit, there's some service. So I've been taking my laptop and we've been going into town so I could do a little bit of work at least. But it's really nice. It's giving me time to really work on the studio and get it exactly how I want it before I start taking on projects again. So my next tasks, I've got these puck lights that have a on and off remote to go in the closet because there's no light in the closet and I'd like to be able to see. I had one similar to this in the last closet at our last place and it was amazing. Then I've got a couple different pictures that I'm gonna see if they look good on the wall. Eventually I want our own images printed on a canvas, but it's just not a necessary expense right now. So these are gonna do for now. But first, before I do any of this, let's take a look at the studio. All right, so when you come in, we have the new shelving unit. Well, first off, we have this chair, which is from Amazon. I put some really nice wheels on it so I can sit and roll around because sometimes I'm in here for a long time. So here is our new workstation. I've got two different tabletops here, which is great because normally I'm way too cluttered on one tiny space. So this gives me the option to have products laid out, work on textures, have swatches, do the whole thing, like really, really awesome. Then I ended up condensing the backdrops all here. The ones I don't really use are towards the bottom, and the ones I use more often are towards the top. Sandbags to weigh down those if these are too heavy. I have my extra tripods there, my light there, acrylic trays there with some other backdrop options underneath it. And then my stone backdrops I have actually underneath this because I don't want them to get scratched up with stuff over top. So that was the safest spot for them. And then over here, we have some more practical things. So this is a bucket. So when I'm doing texture shots, oils, I don't want to have to clean up in between every single shot. So I can just throw my dirty, oily, body butter covered products in there and keep going with the shoot and then take that to the bathroom and then wash it off later whenever I need it. I have a little tank back there for shots. This is kind of like my quick access bin. So I have a mirror. This is a rotating turntable. This creates a window shadow, diffuser paper, and reflector boards that I can quickly grab while I'm shooting. This has some props that are not too common, but things I just don't want to get rid of. There's like some Valentine's Day stuff, which honestly that I should get rid of because I'm not going to use that again for a whole year. But we have some textured fabrics. You can see glass cups, just not the common things that I use, but things that I use enough to not want to throw away, or things that I've found that I really like. And then here, this was the disastrous setup that I had to build and unbuild about 4 times, and I finally finished at 1:30 in the morning. But it's okay because it is absolutely amazing. I'll give you a brief little tour. We have rags. Then we have little things we need here. This is to create my shelf shots. We have acrylic sticks to make things float.
Then we have modifiers, lighting things up here. This is actually trash bags tucked in there. I just had this nice vase, so it looks pretty. Then we have, these are kind of like my accessories, earrings, little things that I style inside photos often. These are clamps to hold things together, stone blocks, acrylic blocks, miniatures. Got a lot of cute little miniatures in here. Quite the collection I've collected over the years, and I just don't want to throw this away. And you've already seen those. And then this is my actual rolling cart that rolls around the studio with me. This is everything that I want super quick access to. So gloves, we have microfibers to wipe products down, sticky tack, scissors. This is to play with product textures. My laptop goes here, which will be tethered to the camera so I can always see what I'm doing. Then we have glycerin. Spray paint is just there because I don't have another spot for it, but the glycerin is great because I use it a lot to make product look dewy. And I also have spray bottles of glycerin back there. My helping hands tools, these are all little lights. I don't use them too often, but occasionally I do. These are extra supplies, and then a blow dryer in case I need to do ripple effects in water. And finally, the electric table. This is the bad boy that goes up and down. So that way I can really get the exact angle I want without having to worry about fidgeting with the tripod, which is really freaking awesome. So now let's see where these bad boys can go. So we have two different sets of images. We have these, and then we have these. My problem with these is I'm not really too much of a girly girl these days. I prefer neutral color tones, and these are a bit bright, like the pink and the red. Not really my vibe. The colors here, definitely my vibe, but kind of boring, like it's just blobs, just shapes. Whereas this is like product studio, look at these beautiful products. So it's kind of more fitting. And what I'm thinking is maybe putting those above this guy, because since this is all of my props, this is like the fun station. So it could be nice to put them above there. Whereas this is kind of like the serious station, the thing where things are gonna get moved around, maybe bumped or hit. I honestly might even like fill up that back wall all the way up to here with foam so that I protect the wall and don't put any holes in anything. So this isn't anything fancy. I'm just putting tape in all four corners, and then I'm just gonna press it on the wall. So I think it's cute for now. And you know, like I said, one day we're gonna get our own pictures up there, but for now, that'll do. So I ended up putting these ones on this wall because I just didn't want them to go to waste, and they're kind of cute. I guess they're gonna work for now. Like I said, this is just the beginning of the studio, and I wanted a little pop of color in here, so that's nice. And then the real star of the show are these lights that I have installed in here. They look really awesome, and then when I don't want to be in here, I just turn them off, and hopefully they all work, which they worked when I turned them on, but now they're being stupid.